So let's start today our session. Hope you are having a great time with us at IEEE ADIT Web Talks. Continuing on our journey with the web series, it's my pleasure to familiarize you with our next speaker. Ms. Neha Tripathi is a professional speaker, employability advisor for the woman with sabbatical and a mentor in the Jobs for Her and Her Money Talks. Apart from this, she is also the founder and host of Neha Tripathi Talk Show and runs her own mentorship program, V40, The Wrong Side of 40, which is a transformation journey from mid-career crisis. We feel overwhelmed to add that she is also the founder of Genius, Scripting Success Stories. Today, she will brief us on the redefining milestones by leading with purpose. So, over to you, Neha ma'am.
Thank you, Divya, for this quick and empowering introduction. Welcome everyone, welcome to this introductory session where we are talking about redefining milestones and redefining milestones by leading with purpose. So I have 40 minutes where I want to talk about 11 crucial points which I learned through my journey, through my experience, and what I have gone through. So since we have a very diverse audience, we have people across domains who are students, we have working professionals, and we have people across different industries. I tried to keep these 11 pointers very much relevant to all of us. Like what we want to do and how we want to achieve is a very, very important and crucial discussion that we are going to have. The first point which I want to highlight here is research. Now, when we are redefining every milestone and we want to lead with purpose, it is very much important that we also understand what the research means to us. So I'll keep this session very interactive, and also I would like everyone to engage through the chat window. I'll be asking questions, so please feel free to drop in your comments and also your views. So when I say research, I'm trying to understand what am I interested in? What is it that I want to achieve? Who am I listening to? Whom am I following? Have we done a proper research? For example, today is the session conducted by IEEE, and we are in the community of IEEE. Have we researched about the community, what IEEE community is? Have we researched about the speaker, who the speaker for today is? So I want you to drop in a yes if you have researched about Neha Tripathi. Can we just go ahead and drop in a single yes? Have we researched about who the speaker is? Okay, Sneha Ganesh, yes. Sarthak, yes. Jaipatul, Divya, Akshay, yes. Akshay, no. Raj, yes. Pinky, yes. Okay, so we have so far, I've seen few no's. Shubh, Vishwa, no. Tamil Mani, no. Okay, so we have close to 40 people right here. Few more will be joining, few more will be dropping out, but we are investing a big part of our life. 1 hour we could have done something else, 1 hour we could have read something, but we are listening to someone whom we have not researched about. So when I say, when you lead with purpose, the first thing is what your purpose is to join this session. Why do you want to join this session? Why do you want to listen to me? Why do you want to be here and learn something from someone who is random, right? So the first important point which I want to highlight here is anywhere we are going. And social media is such a big community. We have different platforms. We are residing at different levels on social media. Some are influencers, some give their opinions, free opinions, and some we follow so many people. but why we are following them? Why we are listening to anyone who we don't know? Let me give you another example. If you want to be a part of a conference, if you want to be a part of a webinar, if you want to be a part of some summit, which may be international or national summit, what I am doing is important to understand is, do I know that person? Do I want to connect with that person in future? So when we have 10 speakers, maybe, why we want to listen to those 10 speakers? Does their idea resonate with my idea? Do what the work they are doing, does it really inspire me? So I would like to highlight, and I've kept it as the first point because we are in a community right now, still in a quarantine and self isolation time, where we are listening to so many people. It's important we understand whom we want to listen to, and for that we have to play a very important role by doing our homework first. Our homework is to go back and learn about who the speaker is. When we know who the speaker is, we have differentiated ourselves from those people who don't know the speaker, who don't know who they are following to, who don't know who they have in the community to look up to. So that's number one. Try and research about the people you want to listen to, and that is the first place. That is where you start defining your milestones in every aspect of work, in every aspect of community that you are part of, and in every aspect of the engagement you are leading to in future. So the one thing which I again want to highlight here is, when we are in constant touch with the person, we try to understand that this person relates to the work that I'm doing. And when we are giving a good chunk of our time, 60 minutes of our time, that person adding value to what we are trying to learn? So that's number one. Number two
And
is, hello? Okay. Number two is, what's your signature story? When I say what's your signature story, I simply try to mean there's so much of noise on social media. There are so many people around who are telling their story. What's unique about your story? Why anyone would listen to your story? Okay. So let me go back and talk about my story, what I have been doing, and how I'm trying to curate my own network of community, and I'm trying to create a bigger impact through the work I'm doing. So I did my MBA, and I did my MBA in 2010. After that, for a decade, I worked with the corporate sector as a corporate finance and as an investment banker. Now, while I was working with these organizations, I switched 2, 3 organizations, and I worked at different level. I worked under different managers. I was in my own comfort zone. I was trying to understand what the corporate culture is. I was doing really good. I was earning good amount. I was trying to fit in all possible roles that were possible. Fast forward, I relocated from one metro city to another metro city. And when I relocated from one metro city to another metro city, I realized that initially, where I was living, I had my own comfort zone. I had my own circle. And this circle was my friends, my school friends, my college friends, my colleagues, my family members, my relatives, so many people around me. Anyone I could reach out to anytime. During the weekends, I had people around me. But when I relocated to a different metro city, I realized for a couple of weeks that I don't have that kind of a circle around me. Now I had two options. Either I would surrender to the situation, or I would come up with some idea, some some thought that would help me to move out of that comfort zone. The first thing that came to my help was social media. When I explored the social media, I met a lot of people who were from different domains, who were doing really amazing in the work that they were in. I started following them. In that process, I met a lot of people online as well as offline. Online, I met my mentors. Offline, I tried to connect with people, to create my own community, to understand who are the people living here, what they are doing in this city. So I'm staying in Bangalore, and I moved from Delhi to Bangalore. Delhi was kind of my hometown. Everyone was there. And when I moved to Bangalore, except my husband's friend, I knew no one. And for me, not knowing anyone, not socializing was a big deal. I used to socialize a lot, and I transformed in I was into a situation where I was not interacting with anyone for days. I had just a couple of faces the entire day, but apart from that, I had no one. So I started experimenting with lots of conferences. I started going to a lot of conferences, lots of summits, lot of events that were happening. I started with free conferences or very minimal conference entry fee, where I could understand what exactly they are doing, who the speakers were. And I would try to go to the conference with my homework done. When I say with my homework done, I mean I would research every speaker, who the speaker is, what they want to talk about, and where they stay, because that was also important for me. If they are staying in Bangalore, that means I have an easy access to them. I might meet them in a while. But at the same time, I had a lot of online connections as well, where in fact I met my mentor online, and he came as a big savior for me, who guided me through those phases. He's still guiding me, he's still with me. But at that point in time where I could not discuss the the change in my mind, the different random thoughts that I had in mind, I was free to discuss those thoughts, those hicks to him. Over a period of time, I learned how to network. And networking is again an art. Through networking, I used to interact with people. I used to learn from their stories. And I was quite curious why they are here, what they are talking about, what they are doing. And that curiosity led me to interview them one on one. Initially, I used to interview them one on one once the conference was over. Then I thought, okay, now this is what I have interviewed. Let me record these interviews. So moving ahead, further conferences which I attended, I started recording the interviews that I had, because I was quite inspired by their stories, by their journeys. And these were the kind of people who were really authentic. They were ready to share their own journeys, their own learning and experience. And they were also willing to guide me on what to do next. That was a phase where I was also, juggling between the thoughts whether I should go back to work, to job, or I should start something of my own. So Divya, who is my mentor? My mentor, I have many mentors, but the mentor about whom I am talking is Jogesh Jan. You can find him on social media, or I'll share with you the link. And he was an employability, he is an employability advisor. And I got in touch with him to understand what he is doing. At that point in time, he was doing amazing. And I was attracted a lot by the kind of contents he was sharing. And I was also attracted by his approach towards employability. Now, at that point in time, I was trying to understand and juggling with the thoughts that should I go back to job, or should I start something of my own? So when I was a kid, I was quite inspired by the thought that I want to do something of my own. When I want to do, I was not clear. How I want to do, I was not clear. What I want to do, I was not clear. So in this transition where I was finding jobs, I was applying for jobs, I was also stuck with the thought that this is the right time where I should try something of my own. And if it fails, I'll come back and join the workforce again. So in that phase where I was networking with a lot of people, I realized that these people have amazing stories. They have their own learning experience. They are so curious, even though they have reached a pedestal, they're still curious to learn something new. They're still curious to understand what the ecosystem is all about, how they can rise up in whatever they are doing. And when I started recording those interviews, I realized, let me share these interviews with more people. Let me bring in more audience and share this learning with them. I did a pilot interview. I did a pilot session as well to test whether this will really work or not. And that is where the idea of Neha Tripathi talk show came up. Honestly, I was still looking for jobs. I was getting offers which I was not accepting because of certain terms and conditions that they had. What I was asking, they were not giving. Some interviews I was not able to crack. So something or the else was happening, and I was kind of still juggling to join the workforce or continue with my work on Neha Tripathi talk show. Even the network which I created gave me more speakers, and they helped me to reach out through their network to different speakers. So I was quite interested in knowing what the journey is all about. And that is where the first tagline came: scripting success stories. When I say scripting success stories, these are the stories which I wanted to understand and record. They were talking not only about their success, but also the failures, their mistakes, and a lot about them who have gone through the journey. And when I say scripting, I was trying to record and share with more number of people. So then I coined and came up with this tag, scripting success stories. Now, this is the kind of signature story which I want to talk about to you. And at the same time, I also want to put across a question: what is your signature story? See, there is a lot of noise on social media. Everyone has a unique story. We have our unique bank accounts, we have our unique prints, we have the same organ, but still, as human beings, we are all different in our own ways. We are creative. Some people are at different intellect levels. Some people are superiorly creative. Some people have some combination of skill sets that they have. So what is your signature story? And we have got time to redefine the milestone by writing our own signature story. We have this time where we are for a few days locked up in self-isolation. So let us think about what is our signature story. Each one of us has a signature story. There is something unique about your story, about your journey. And for those who are students, it's a good time for you to understand that you have something unique in you. Let's figure out what it is. But don't stop there. There is a long way to go, even beyond that. So once you define your signature story, let's go to the next level where we will be adding more skills to our signature story and create a unique personality, create a unique profile for ourselves where we can talk about ourselves and share that experience, that journey with other people, so that people around us get inspired and they will also bring in that thought of leading with purpose. Now, the third point which I want to highlight here is define your purpose. When I say define your purpose, there is a lot which is happening on social media where people are trying to communicate through their contents that find your passion, find your purpose. And to some extent, they are right, because what leads me next is my own individual thought. When I say define the purpose, I mean, why is your signature story connected to the purpose and the work you are doing? So when I was having uh, the interviews, when I was recording the interviews, at the same time I was also part of many women communities who were entrepreneurs, women communities who were business running their single soul business, women communities who were looking out for jobs. And I realized that women, especially after marriage, after they are relocating from one place to another, after their motherhood, they undergo a career break. And when they undergo a career break, they all of a sudden are in a situation where they prioritize one part and they put aside their career. It's good. We should have priorities in life. But at the same time, we also need a clarity that after 6 months, after 1 year, maybe when you settle down after your marriage, maybe when your kid is 2 or 3 years old and is back to, the the child care, or they are into preschool, what next? They are again in that vacuum that they have lost their career, and there is a gap of 6 months to 1 year. And I've also mentored women who had career break of 8 years. So whenever you are in a phase where there's a transition happening, even for students, there is a transition happening in your life after school to college to work culture. Now, during this transition, it is very important to understand that you have figured out something to do and to connect back to what you want to do next. For example, while I was working with women, I came across a couple of women who had the same gap in their career planning. So when they took a career break, they took a career break completely. They were not reskilling themselves. They were not learning anything new. They were not investing in themselves. They were watching maybe YouTube videos or the free contents, but they were not engaging actively in order to update themselves as per the industry change, which I realized over 6 to 8 months of my transition from one metro to another metro city. And I started working with these women. Now, I was working in a corporate sector. When I transitioned to this metro city, I had no planning. I myself had no planning, and I felt it over a period of time that if someone would have advised me that you can uh, have a better career, or you can have a better future if you plan it this way. Even during my corporate journey, I at times used to realize that I'm losing that guidance. I do not have that supervision. How can I connect to myself better, to scale up myself and climb the ladder at a faster pace? When I realized that I am losing on that transition, and I looked around through in my own women community, that there's so much of lack of confidence. They are not they are not confident enough to give the interviews. They are not confident to apply for the jobs. They are not confident that they will get the job. Even if they have applied, they are not confident that they will get the job. And there are certain strategies which I learned over a period of time when I started investing in myself, that everything comes with a package. Whatever we are going through, there is a lot that we are learning through that package, and everything comes with a package. And my package was, when I had an experience of 8 years, that gave me a different experience. When I started my entrepreneurial journey, it gave me a different experience. And through that, I kind of I was able to weave the two different experience and share that learning to women across. When I started mentoring women, I realized there was few gaps in the communication, few gaps in prioritization. And I started building my mentorship according to what I wanted to deliver. So my purpose was clear that I wanted to mentor women. My purpose was clear that in my entrepreneurial journey, I wanted to interview more entrepreneurs because I wanted to start my own work through through my own experience and also from the experience of others. So how can I record and share across to larger audience? So try to define the purpose and connect it with the work that you are doing. Try to connect it with more people around you and create your own circle that helps you to declutter your problems, to help you to rise to next level. Now, the fourth point which I want to highlight here is there is absolutely no shortcut to success. And I have felt it personally. Many people I've come across who are looking out for shortcuts. You know, learn this in 12 days and you will be this. This is a 24-hour course and you will become this. This is a 5-day course and you will become this. Every course has a learning. I agree to that. But someone who is talking about shortcuts and giving you a hope that just in 5 days, just in 12 days, just in 24 hours, if you buy my course and if you do it, you will be something different. Or you will get your perfect dream life. No, that's the myth. That's how the sales strategy is. That's how the marketing strategy is there outside. But this is a very big bubble, which I'm also trying to break for myself, and I'm still trying to do it because over a period of time, I've realized that anything that comes up with a big surprise gift that just attend for 24 hours or for a week and you will be this, it doesn't work. You have to identify who the right person is for you. What is the right course for you? And there is a process to learn it. There is a methodology to learn it. You have a lot out there. So many people are there. You have to filter it out. Your own experience, your own mistakes, your own learnings, your own expertise will help you achieve. Invest in yourself, learn new things, but learn it again very strategically. There are so many contents which are free out there, but does a free content give you all that you need for success? No. Does a free content give you the perfect package or the guidance? No. It can only take you to a certain level. But if you are an ambitious person, if you are looking out for something, if you have a goal in mind, you will have to strategize it. We need to understand and learn from our own mistakes. Initially, I was investing a lot in my conferences, the summits which I used to do. I was trying to understand what these free conferences were doing because I thought this is a new city I am in. Let me go to these conferences, to these communities and understand what they are doing. But compared to that, when I started investing in a bigger conference through, so they have some entry fees, okay? And when I started filtering in and filtering out through the speakers which I wanted to meet, through different people, what kind of a content they are putting out, what kind of what's the theme of the entire conference, I realized that more than often I used to fall in a category where they were more or less paid conferences and they were very eminent speakers who were out there. And I started investing in those conferences. I realized the big chunk of my learning came from connecting with people through paid networks. Number two, there is a lot out there on social media, on YouTube, on there are so many videos on YouTube. There are so many TED Talks which talk about amazing things. But at the same time, I started also to invest in a paid mentorship program, in a paid leadership program, and I saw a difference myself, that when I pay, I am committed, and at the same time I'm also buying the commitment from other people. Whenever there is an engagement in terms of time and money, I was very much thoughtful about what kind of a person I want to engage with. So there is no shortcut. We have to go through the entire process. Each one of us has our own journey. Figure out how you want to learn, online, offline, by meeting with people, by interacting, what kind of a learning. So for me, I wanted to learn from someone with whom I can connect at a personal level. So I was also part of some paid mentorship program or leadership program where once the program was over, there is a no connection between people who facilitated the entire program and me. So the connection was over right on the program was over. Over a period of time, I realized, no, that is not the kind of people I want to engage with. I want to engage for a longer term. And when I started filtering out what I don't want, and I started understanding that this is the kind of picture or people around that I want, or the guidance that I want, it gave me a comfort zone to invest in a very strategic way. So there many times I invested where I felt that, okay, it was not worth it. But that was again a learning for me. I learned for myself that, okay, this didn't work out. Let me see what will work for me. So there are many cross pollinations happening. There are many permutations and combinations happening. Through that, real time understanding comes, and it took a time, 1 year time, for me to understand how it is, who I have to engage. And then I realized, okay, these are the people I want to engage with. So that is again a very thoughtful connect that I wanted to build for myself. Number 5, empower yourself. Empower yourself through learning. And where does this learning come from? 8 years of my corporate journey, there was I felt I was self-sufficient. I had lot in me. I did really well in my corporate journey. But today, when I look back, I realize if I would have had mentors in my life, I would have accelerated the corporate ladder to a much higher level. I would have reached a next level, or maybe two levels or three levels up, if I would have invested in a or I have had a mentor in my career, which I realized later when I relocated to different city, Bangalore. And I realized, I came across my mentors and I started learning from them. I started learning from their experiences, from their learnings. And when I interviewed even people who were big shots in the industry, I constantly came across the concept of mentorship. So these people who have climbed the ladder, or they are some big shot in the industry, or they are running their own business, I realized each one of them, without an exception, each one of them had a mentor in life. And the role of a mentor has to be very specific. It has to be very, very aligned to what you aspire to. I used to say my role model or my mentor is my father, my younger sister, or many other people. But these are your role models who are always there for you. Even your mentors are there if you choose wisely. Your mentors are always there for you. But having an active engagement with someone who is outside your family or friend zone, these people have a very unbiased opinion about you. They will never try to, influence your thoughts. They will never try to just sugarcoat what you are doing, but they will always give you the mirror, the real picture of who you are and what you need to do in order to excel. So invest in yourself, empower yourself by learning, and come out of the illusion of knowledge. Most of the people, or some people, have this illusion that I know everything. I know this. I know how it works. But there is always a creative way to do it. You should always be open to new interactions, to understand different perspectives. So always be open to a new lens perspective. My lens, my thoughts are good. It's not wrong. But how about having different lens, mentors in life who can guide you, who can accelerate your journey in through their experience? The biggest learning which I had was, if I would have had a mentor in my corporate life, my journey would have accelerated, which I learned after my corporate journey. But then there has to be no space for regret. I had to scale up to next level. Through the mentors, I got a chance to start something of my own, to start something which I wanted to do since long. So there is always a scope of reviving yourself, giving a new worth to your own self. What I was 3 years back is different to what I am today. And that journey has accelerated over a period of time. So that constant learning, empowering by real time knowledge, by real time understanding of who I want to be and how I can be there. Number 6, judgment is the biggest curse. I have experienced in my own life that people I used to judge have held me when I wanted. And a friend of mine told me judgment is the biggest curse. And I actually wrote down these words that day. Judgment is the biggest curse. And I'm trying to transition my thoughts to a line through these words. I am trying to become more non-biased, a non-judgmental perspective. Anything that comes up, I'm trying to empower myself by not judging. Yes, there is a good and bad for me, but there is no good and bad in reality. For me, someone can be good, but that someone is not bad actually. Someone might have helped, someone might not have helped, and they have their own. And let's accept it. We don't help everyone. We don't help any time everyone. We try to help them what our capability is through the resources that we have. So when I started figuring out what I want, what are the right kind of people, and at the same time, I also tried to incorporate that at different situations, there are different people who can help. Not every situation, not every problem can be solved by everyone. Specific skill sets, specific personalities can only solve. So try to figure out who are the real people around you who can help. Number 7, circle of influence. Circle of influence is the kind of people you have around. When I was with my friends, with my relatives, that was a different circle altogether. But now when I have different circle and I'm trying to do my work in that space, in that industry, I'm trying to understand who are the people who can help me in accelerating my work, my show, my mentorship program. In my corporate journey, I had different people. In my entrepreneurial journey, I have different people. And they say 5 people around you will define who you are. If you're not if I'm not a early morning person who believes in getting up at like 5. I get up at 7 or sometimes 8. But at the same time, if I'm at my home with my parents, I'm up by 5:30 or 6. They are the people around who are defining my routine, because maybe I'm scared of them, or maybe I want to give respect to their disciplines. So when I change that circle to a different circle altogether, I again fall back into my comfort zone and believe in staying late in the night and getting up an hour late, because that's how my productivity has been. That is what my timelines are. So getting up early at 5 is not right or wrong. For me, maybe getting up till 3 a.m., 2 a.m. and completing the work, and next day in the morning waking up at around 8, 7:30, that's right for me, but that is not right for everyone. So that circle of influence defines the people I want. If I want to scale up to next level, if I want to scale up my business, I have to stay with people who have business mindset, who have the idea to help others, because what I'm trying to do is to share knowledge, to share experiences. So that is what the kind of people I have surrounded myself with. Now at the same time, if I start living with kids, they are not going to help me in this journey. Kids are good, they have a different energy altogether. With them I can have some really relaxed and good time. But at the same time, if I want to excel in the work that I'm doing, I have to change my circle. The kind of thoughts that they come up are not the creative thoughts which I can have with my relatives if they are into a different work altogether. So redefine your circle of influence. Try to get more people in the work that you are doing. Try to aspire for people who you look up to and they're a level above to what you are, so that from their experience, by observing them also, you learn so much. And through that, you can start incorporating those habits, those tricks, those hacks, those tools in your life. And that will definitely bring a shift in the state of mind where you are and where you want to be. Number 8, faith in God is good, but can we really crack an exam without studying? So what I'm trying to say is there is no substitute to hard work. Faith in God is something which I do. I have faith in God. But at the same time, God cannot save me if I just sit and ask God to help me. I have to look out for people, for the resources, for different things. So has it ever happened with you that you're watching a YouTube channel and you're looking out for something? It has happened with me where I'm looking out for some leadership content, some leadership conversations, and suddenly a pop-up comes which I open and I feel and those conversations and those talks which I just opened a random pop-up, it gave me a different perspective. So I was not looking out for that video. Okay, so I was not looking out for that video, but that came up because the algorithm of the YouTube said that I'm looking out for some leadership content. And while I was searching through my own presence of mind that this is what I might be, what might be useful for me, another content came up, which the AI algorithm thought that this might be helpful for her. So what I'm trying to say here is we are looking out for something, and that something would lead to something else. And that is how we discover new ways to learn and to upgrade ourselves. Faith has a place, and hard work equally has a place. Number 9. Number 9 is the 4W and 1H approach. While I was working with women, I used to call it 4 wife and 1 husband approach. The 4 W's are the 4 W's, the 4 wives are why. Now, this is really important. Why I want to do whatever I want to do. I come from a phase where I had few months of career break and I was looking out for something creative. That is why I am mentoring people. I was curious about people who and I'm still curious about people who have found their own ways to navigate towards success, and I want to learn from their experience, and that is the reason why I'm doing my talk show. So why are you doing what are you doing? The second W, what exactly are you trying to achieve? There is so much that we are influenced with, but what is it exactly that resonates with you? What are you trying to do? The third, for whom are you trying to do? When I'm mentoring women, I wanted to mentor women with career break, and that too who are at mid management level. And I'll tell you why. I'm a woman. I faced few scenarios which I could connect with other women. So they are my target audience. Now, at the same time, I also wanted to mentor women who are at mid management or at higher mid management, not the CXO, because my experience, corporate experience, was still mid management and higher mid management level. And I strongly believed that first let me work with these people and then over a period of time scale up to CXO level. So again, for whom are you trying to work with? And fourth, where are you going with all this? Are you where will you exactly find your target audience? Is it on social media that you want to do? Is it online or offline? Now, through this period, the days we are going through, everything has turned out to be online. So what is your priority? Where do you want to serve these people? Online, offline, through experiential programs, through the corporate experiences, through conferences, through your own stories? Where exactly do you want to serve these people? And the one husband is the 1H. How are you going to do it? Everything can be decluttered further with further discussion, but the algorithm says these 4W need to be figured out first, and how becomes clear later. When I started, I was trying to figure out why, what, whom, where, and when I was doing all that process, how became actually easy for me. Why I wanted to do. So this is the reason why I wanted to do. So let me connect to someone who can help me with, and that how became easy when I had the clarity that this is the reason why I want to do. For this, there's a book by Simon Sinek, Begin with Why, Start with Why. And he has given very beautiful examples on corporate culture, why a corporate culture which incorporates the real-time experience of the employees who engage with employee enhancement, learning their learning capabilities are growing faster compared to the organizations who do not understand their employees better. So in that process, there is further drilling down, but the bottom line remains the same. Why you want to do it. That is important. The 10th one is do not mind the change, but change the mind. And this I thought is going to be something really interesting because this is where we are. We were running at such a fast pace. We had no time to what we wanted to do. We had so many excuses, and all of a sudden, everything has shut down. We are all self-isolated. We are all working from home. Few days back, if anyone would say working from home Work from home for everyone was not possible, and today it is the reality. So there is a change which is always there, which is constant. The change will always remain constant. Now you have the time to introspect how you can change the mind. I believe we are undergoing a phase where the technology and humankind are undergoing irreversible change. These changes cannot be reversed. Economy can be reversed. We can bring back the economy. We can rectify the economy. Few changes can be made. But this time, the 21 days, and I don't know if this will be further a longer phase, how our life will be back together at the same pace, how much time will it take. But this is the time where we have to change our mind, where we have to change our thought process and understand, okay, there is a way to figure out. Nature has given us a situation, a scenario where no one is in a position to say no. Everyone has accepted it just the way it is. All of a sudden the pollution has come down. All of a sudden everything, has the people are saying that the nature is breathing. I've still seen, in the afternoon there were birds, there are pigeons, there are noises, the soothing noises. I have never here in the city heard a koel, right, nightingale, but I heard it today. So there are changes which are irreversible changes, and we are an insignificant species when we compare ourselves to the mother earth, to the nature. There is a change. Every phase comes with a change. So the change in the mind is important. When we are stubborn with the thought that no, work from home is not possible, no, for me I can't give time to my hobby, no, this is not possible, family time is not possible, now you have seen the change yourself. I think I have seen the biggest change in my life, and I just pray it doesn't happen to the future generations. But this is some exclusive experiences that I'm having these days, and it is going to stay with me for like this life for sure. And the impact which this has created has changed my mind at least 360 degrees, really. And the last one, is your world competitive or collaborative? We come across people who are competitive, and we also come across people who are collaborative. Stay with people who are collaborative, and also stay with people for a while who are competitive. See what exactly is working for you. For me, a world of collaboration works. I am an individual who has certain skill sets, and there are people out there who has different skills. So I'm not a digital expert. Okay, if I collaborate with a digital expert and I have my own skill sets, and with this collaboration, if we work together as a team, there is a different opportunity that opens up. There's a different door altogether that opens up to take you to the next level altogether. So there is always a beautiful way to collaborate with people in a positive way. To share your skill sets with other is a beautiful experience. I have experienced it for myself. Try to share your experience, your skill sets with other people. Collaborate with them. This world of collaboration will bring a different kind of human skill sets altogether. So let us create a world of collaboration, a constant learner within ourselves, and also change our mind to be flexible in any phase of world that we are. Thank you.
Ma'am, we have the questions. So starting a question from Tamil Mani. He wants to ask that, ma'am, do you have a co-founder to manage the things with you? If yes, how did you find him or her?
So I don't have a co-founder. This is a talk show which I have been running through through my travel, through my journey, through my different networks. But then I have collaborated with few people in creating contents for them, in creating, there are companies where I work as a business strategist. So recently I was working with one of the NGO as well. I'm no more part of that NGO, but then I'm working with another organization where they are also into the same video creating content sector, and they are interviewing different entrepreneurs and finance experts. So I have kind of collaborated with them as a business strategist.
Okay, thanks, ma'am. Aniket wants to ask, how do you ensure commitments from your colleagues in your professional life?
Commitment comes first from within yourself. So when I showcase commitment over a period of time, people around me will definitely come up with their commitments. And I believe there is always a delicacy of power which empowers people. So if I keep dictating people, if I keep telling them that this is how it is done, instead if I try a different approach where I give them the power that this is how it is and this is how it can be done. So let's sit together and brainstorm and do it. So it gives them a power that, okay, they are leading this project, and it also gives them a different experience with that.
Okay. Question from Shivaraj. How did you manage your finance during your company started?
So this is still a self-funded show which I'm doing, and I have started this from my own home, and whenever I travel I record and I try to put it on the YouTube and my different channels, social media channels. But so far this has been self-funded, and most of the funds that come from, they are coming from the mentorship program that I'm doing for women and mid-career professionals.
Okay. Rhythm wants to ask, how to deal with seniors as well as juniors when working as a team?
So there are different strategies. When I used to work in a corporate sector with my seniors and with my juniors, I try to create a rapport with them. So it's also the offline conversation that works. So every time when you are working at the desk, at the workstation, try to create a rapport with people, maybe juniors or seniors, offline. What they're doing, simple conversations. It starts with simple conversations, then you try to engage with them at different levels. So there is a rapport that plays a very important role in creating that connect. And once that connect is created, people start listening to you, your ideas, and start valuing what you have to say.
Yes, exactly. Connecting with people is more important to work as a team.
Right.
Yeah. Another question from Maheshwari, how to start my network?
Okay, so there are different ways, offline, online. Now, so far I'm doing it completely organic. What I tried, so when I came here, I had no one. I really had no one. And after 2 years, I have a network not only in Bangalore, but also in different metro cities. How I started attending conferences, Toastmasters Club. I went to a couple of Rotary clubs. I went to some event which was happening, and in those events, I again tried to interact at one-on-one level and I tried to understood. First, I also did my own research that what kind of a conference it was, whom I'm going to attend and listen to, and then also from the audience, I used to connect with few people I resonated with. And once I was back from the conference or the event, I would connect to them on mail and social media. So it started very organically, it started at a very slow pace, but now I have created a repo and community for myself, which is there in all kind of work that I am in, and they are always there to help me. And Okay, let me give an example. So I had to do a photo shoot for myself for the profile, and wherever I share my profile. So I wanted to do a photo shoot. I had a friend I met in Chennai. So there was an event which I went and attended in Chennai. So there I met this guy who was doing who was into technology, and he had his own office in Bangalore. So we connected there, we exchanged our cards, and when we came back, we met one more time in his office. When I went to his office was huge, and he was, on that day he was doing a photo shoot. So I checked with him that I also want to do a photo shoot for my own profile, so can you arrange it for me as well? So I was expecting it to be a paid engagement, but over a period of time, it became like, the repo was built so strong that he had another scheduled photo shoot for the professionals. So Professional Speakers Association photo shoot, where already 5 people were having the photo shoot that day. So he just said, you just come, and you come with the kind of photo shoot you want for yourself, and we will do it for you. And I asked him, okay, what will be the charges? He said, the setup is already there, I'll do it for free. So you never know what kind of a network you will build through the expertise of your networking that you have. So I was not expecting a free, but it came out as a free for me.
Okay, so second question from Shivraj. Ma'am, how do you find a perfect mentor?
Okay, so that's an interesting question. I found my mentor on social media when I was following his work and I was engaging with him. I attended a free webinar where he was talking about the work that he's doing and how he can help me. So that webinar was a full day webinar. I attended that webinar, and at the same time, I was not sure that should I go for it, because that has a monetary investment which is needed. So I was not sure whether I should go for this much of monetary investment or not. So I kept myself on hold for a couple of weeks. I was following further his content, and then I finally decided, okay, that now it's the right time to invest. So I invested, and I joined his program. Luckily, it turned out to be a good investment for me. But let me tell you also the other flip side of it, where I attended one leadership program, and that leadership program, it ended in like 3 months, and in the 3 months, I had huge hopes from that program, from that mentorship. So, but after the end of it, it turned out to be a no connect between the mentor and the mentee, and for me, it was like I was not any problem if I had, I can't reach out to him. So, what I'm trying to say here is experiment with different people. See whom you resonate with, and these are not the two people, not only the two people I have worked with, but there are many more people I have worked with, and I have been a mentee to these other people. But then I realized that if I wouldn't have done the investment, I wouldn't have realized who is the perfect mentor for me. And if I wouldn't have done those wrong investments, I wouldn't have realized what kind of a person I am and how the engagement I want for myself. So invest in different mentorship programs, and very wisely, very strategically. You might go wrong. That's not the surety that I can give, but at least you will have an experience. You will know what kind of taste you have. You will know what kind of guidance you are looking out for.
Okay. Question from Upamanyu Mishra. While starting a startup, we have to take many risky decisions. So his question is it okay that we should take risk over safety, and why?
I would never suggest you to quit your job and start a business, and that too when you have no experience, no network, no plan, no maybe just an idea or even no idea. There is always a safety net around which you have to create, or create the other source of income. Now, the other source of income in future can be your active source of income. Once you are confident that, yes, that's my idea and I want to go ahead. With me, it happened by situation that I had to leave the job and I had to relocate to another city and I had this chance. But I would never suggest anyone to quit their job and start. Instead, while you are doing your job, you have the safety net, you are earning, you have the time to experiment. Even if that idea fails, God give you success, but there is always practical insight that is needed. Even if that idea fails, you have the bandwidth to step back, relax, and come up with correct your own mistakes. But you've not lost on your job. So when you are in job, build that safety net, build that passive source of income, experiment, work on it. And once you are confident and confident enough that that passive source of income can help you survive, pay your bills, then only leave your job. In fact, today is the world where we are looking out for more than one source of income. So why do you want to leave the job? If you want to leave the job, is it really that you want to do, or you are following people to do that? And if you're following people, then don't do that. But if that is what you always wanted to do, then first experiment within the job, experiment, and then go for it.
Question from Sagar. What are the steps taken when startup goes down?
See, when a startup goes down, there is always, when you have mentors around. So there are times when I feel, that the work I'm doing needs to be improvised. It needs to be worked upon. And that is where the role of mentors come. So when you have the right people around you, your friend circle who are into business, your mentors, the right kind of advisors around you, when you reach out to them, you have your own ideas in place, and that is why you are running a business. That is why you are into something which is not into job but a different creative sector altogether. But when you are there, you also have people around who can guide you. So with your idea in place and with mentors, with people who can guide you, with people who can help you with their experience, we can come up with multiple ways to cope up with that situation. So that is where the concept of having a strong circle of influence comes up into picture.
I think so. Next question everyone wants to know. What are the some blunders which can fail startups?
Blunders, one is when you say you have reached the zenith and now there is no scope for you to improve. So sometimes we tell ourselves, I know everything. So that is where we fail. Now there is always a possibility to experiment with your work in a very creative way. Now, as the world is changing, as the technology is changing, how we can adapt ourselves to those changes. I'm still going through that change. I'm still trying to figure out the right solution for myself. I'm not claiming that I have found the best solution for myself, but I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly reviving. I'm constantly in touch with my mentors or people I trust. So I'm trying to learn new things. The technology, I'm aware of what people are doing. There are so many talk shows where people are investing so much. Right now I am at a step back from them, but how can I be a step closer to them? What are the new tricks I can use? How I can collaborate with more people? I have collaborated with a creative content designer very recently. I have collaborated with an organization where they also create multiple videos through interviews. So how can their work and my work combined together in a very collaborative way? If we learn together, how we can just go further using the technology and the change. So yes, there are scope of blunders, but if we try to constantly keep an eye on what are the kind of changes I want to make through, how I want to ensure that these changes I'm able to constantly revive and create a, you know, ensure that there is no loophole in the process that I'm trying to do. So it's a process. Business is a process. It's a journey. In a business, there is no destination. Every time you have set a target for yourself that I want to interview, these many people, or I want to sell my product to 1,000 people. Once that target is achieved, you reset your target. Okay, 1,000 people, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 million, 1 million, 100 million. So you just revive your target, you reset your target. It's a journey. There are ups and downs, there are blunders, and there are celebrations as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Pinky wants to ask that when you felt that you are becoming mentor, do you guide and inspire your mentees?
Yes, I run my mentorship program where I'm working with women and also mid-career professionals. So mid-career professionals from the start of their corporate journey to 10 to 12 years of corporate experience. So I mentor, I work with these people. I see, it's not about motivating them, it's guiding them. I try to guide them, help them, rebuild their journey, climb the ladder. What are the tricks that they can apply, how they can lead with purpose. So when I was leading in the corporate journey, my purpose was missing. So I want to ensure that everyone amongst us now I'm working with, they have a purpose to lead. They have a reason towards what they are doing. And to lead with purpose motivates you. It gives you a desire to learn new things, to be curious about what is happening.
Another question from Maheshwari Jigar. Getting advice from someone who is my mentor, how to implement it?
Sorry, can you come again? There was a break.
Getting advice from someone who is your mentor, how to implement that advice?
See, this is a very, very important point. When you have a mentor or you have a counselor or you have a coach in life, they can only guide you, right? They can only guide me. The action part needs to come from me. If I will not put that advice, guidance into action, the mentorship cannot help me to rise. It cannot help me to achieve what I want to achieve in life. So anyone who is mentoring or who is your guide, who is your coach, they can only, through their experience, through their learning, through the network, they can give you guidance. They can teach you new ways to achieve, but the action part has to come from me. If I'm lacking the action part, it will not help. Neither me it will help, not it will be helpful for the mentor. So for mentors as well, it is a waste of time to work with me if I'm not putting those advice into action or implementing it.
Harsh Patel wants to ask, what's your life lesson?
My life lesson is to be a constant learner, to find new ways to live life. Whatever I'm doing, I'm happy the way I'm doing. I'm learning new things, and I feel the more I learn, the more I interact with people, it gives me a confidence to be where I am and to also go a step ahead. So 10 years back where I was, I have come a far way, and today where I am is through the constant struggles and the mistakes that I have made. And the biggest lesson for me was, I was, even back then I was learning, and even today I'm learning. I'm learning to ensure that I don't stay here 10 years from now in future, right? So 10 years, like 2030, I'm not staying here. Through constant learning, I'm at a different level altogether.
Sarthak Shah wants to ask that share your experience for Iron Lady Corporate Leadership Program.
So Iron Lady Corporate Leadership Program was a program that was was in a collaboration with TIS. And this was a 3 month leadership program. And we were a group of women, 10 to 12 women. And there we had different levels of leadership learnings. Through those learnings, I had a bigger shift in the work that I'm doing. There were many amazing tools and techniques that were taught. And the one big thing which I had is through that community, I created a new circle for myself. So there were two women who are tremendous in the work that they are doing, and I got to know them through that network. So it gave me a new network and new tools and techniques. It gave me new tools and techniques to implement in my mentorship programs as well. And this was a very beautiful experience while I was working with Iron Lady Leadership Program.
Sneha wants to ask, how do you propose one should nourish their network once it's being built to make sure it doesn't break?
Okay. So again, it's a very, very beautiful question, Sneha, you have asked. See, there's one important thing which I also learned over a period of time, and which once I started implementing, I have seen big change in my network. So when you have created a network for yourself, see what you can give to the network, right? So there will be people in the network who will be asking, constantly asking, I want this, I want that. But if you come from a different space of mindset altogether, and if you start giving to the people, to that network through your expertise, so what is one unique thing about you that you want to give to your network? So through my network, I had few things which I felt like, okay, there were few mentor sessions that I did, few ladies I interviewed, through which they got a little more exposure about the work that they are doing. So what is it that you want to give? And it's a universal law: the more you give, the more you receive. So start working from that mindset, that what is it that I can give, that will give other people the idea that this is someone who is always there to help, who is always there to with some creative idea, or she has someone in the network. She always has so there are some times where I don't know, but I have people in my network who can help someone else. So when they reach out to me and I don't know it, I open my network for them and I tell them, okay, I don't know it, but there is someone else I know who can help you with this. So now this person has, built a confidence in me that anytime I reach out to this person, will always help me. So the more you help, the more you try to engage with people, and it's also a matter of remaining in touch through constant mediums. So it's not about you be there on call with them for hours, but how you can ensure that you are there for them through the community, through the work that you are doing. What are the skill sets that are useful for them? So that will help to nourish the network. And there's also a concept of heartful networking, which one of my friend shared with me, that heartful networking comes when you are willing to give what you have, and then you try to open more door of opportunity for yourself, where people see you as a giver and they are attracted towards you, and you have new people altogether who can help you.
Ma'am, it's a question from my side. Everyone is a bit nervous when they start their own ventures. So, were you nervous? And if yes, then describe that nervousness when you start this venture.
So, see, when I See, I was in a position of, no regret if I or waste my time. So I was already, trying to, obviously I was nervous, and I was trying to figure out how I can cope up with this situation, how I can, make it a better experience. And so before I started the talk show. I first created a network for myself, and it all happened accidentally. I had no idea in mind that I'll first create a network, I'll first learn new things, I will join and invest in myself. So I invested close to 3 to 4 lakhs at that point in time when I was not working, in within 1 or 2 years. So I invested in myself. Then I found my mentors, and I then started interviewing people. Then the idea came up. So it all happened accidentally. But then I was constantly trying to figure out a solution. I was nervous. I was scared of what will happen if I won't be able to do it. I was at times I used to also get a thought, yeah, matlab, job was better. Let's go back to job. Why do you want to struggle so much? So yes, they were uh, demotivating thoughts. There were thoughts who didn't let me sleep, or who wake me up in the morning and create more mess. But yes, eventually when I started focusing my energy, okay, let's try it for a while, let's do it, let's think how we can do it, let's connect to more people who are doing it on their own, who have started it on their own. From their experience I can learn. So that is where I started, that confidence came up.
Great. Ma'am, this is a question from Ganesh. Please give your opinion on this young engineers, as most of the attendees are engineering students.
Okay, so they are in specific location, college, or they are diverse. Any particular engineering background they are into, mechanical engineering, computer engineer, or it's a mix, Divya?
It's a mixed bag, and mostly from computer and IT engineers.
Okay, so if I go back to my college days, I was not clear. I have changed my stream altogether. I did my MBA in finance. I worked for like a decade. Then I'm doing very, very different altogether. Now, if I would have got a better guidance at that point in time, maybe I would have been at a better position, maybe 5, 6, 8 years back. And you are at the best phase of your life. The few things which I, most of it I covered in my pointers, the 11 pointers which I gave. The one thing which, to begin with, is find what exactly you want to do, and keep a goal post. If you want to work, in how many years you want to be from an entry executive level to a manager, to a senior manager, to a VP, to a CXO level. So keep a goal post for yourself. Within the organization, there are leaders who will always be there to help you, to guide you. And if they are not even willing to, observe them, see how they are running the meetings, see how they are communicating, how they lead the team, how they convey the task that has been done. So in your engineering college, some professors would have been your favorite, and some professors might be boring for you, not overall for you. So why do you like some professor and why not the other? So the one professor which you like, or maybe he's really famous in the college, the one professor, what is so unique about that person? So we all have uniqueness. What is the unique thing to learn from that person? How can I, connect with that person so that he can mentor me and guide me in my journey? I was listening to the to one of the talk where the Infosys founder, he said that he passed he cleared his engineering exam and he got his job. There were two job offers, I guess. Yeah, the story is a bit fade now, but there were two job offers at that point in time, and he wrote a letter to his father. So at that point, there were no phone calls or social media connect. So he wrote a letter to his father, which one to go for, and his father said, "Ask your guru." So he went back to his teacher, his professor. He asked him, and he told him, go to the organization. So one was paying less, other was paying more. One was a startup maybe, or another was of different category. So his guru said, teacher said, go for the organization where you have a bigger scope to learn. You can earn money in any point in time, maybe 10 years from now. But right now is the age for you to learn. And this guy is running the biggest organization in India, one of the biggest organization in India, which employs such a huge sector of our students, engineering students. So learning is one thing that you should always look up for. There is so much to learn from people around, and under proper guidance, we can learn a lot. So yes,
This is the yeah, you continue.
no, I was done. The two pointers I wanted to share, I shared.
Okay, so next question is from my side. Nowadays, many people suffer from depression. So, what do you do when you feel down due to work or in personal life?
Okay. So yes, we all feel low at some phase in our life. And see, depression is a big word. If you have a feeling of depression, or if someone has a feeling of depression, there are celebrities who have come out with their phase of going through depression. The biggest example is Deepika Padukone herself. She has shared in public, and it has, after her, I've seen so many people talking about depression. But depression is really big. So if it is about depression, then definitely the doctors are of most help than anyone. But if you are talking about a low phase in life, there are people around you who can listen to what you have to say, and choose those people very wisely. So I have my younger sister, I can talk to her anything, and she's always willing to listen. And so am I'm always willing to listen to her. So what are few people, who are those few people around you who are always there to listen to you, who are always there to support you? They will not judge you for what you are going through. They will be unbiased. So talking about your problem, it kind of helps to vomit out the negative emotion. So don't keep those negative emotions within yourself. Try to share it with people, find a solution. It is very easy to say. So someone who is going through, they understand it better. But at the same time, keeping a negative emotion inside the body is only going to harm the body. So it is always better to have some people who understand you, who support you. And if you have good mentors in life, then they can also help you to come out of that phase.
So,
Thank
ma'am, can we have a quick fire round?
Sure.
Who was your matchstick to ignite you when you started your career?
When I started my career, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Who was your matchstick to ignite you when you started your career?
Okay, my father. He is my inspiration.
Supriya Paul started Josh Talks. Isha Anirudh ma'am started Best Talk Show like Zindagi Live, which she won many awards. So, what one uniqueness is there in the Neha Talk Show?
In this talk show, I'm trying to engage people online and share the authentic experience of entrepreneurs.
And what it means, what is by it be differentiated by?
It is differentiated by a non-judgmental entry of people where we bring in people from diverse sectors. We don't judge them through their journey. We just learn from them.
Does TED Talk inspire you?
Yes, a lot.
Which is your favorite TED Talk?
My favorite TED talk recently, which I watched, was Raghuram Rajan gave one TED talk.
So, ma'am, any like suggestions regarding these economies? Like we are facing a lockdown for 21 days. So you are seeing that Sensex and Nifty is going down. So you being the finance, like you have studied from IBS Hyderabad, MBA in finance. So any suggestions for that the Indian economy or something?
See, the economy will evolve. Okay, it might take time, but it will evolve. Right now, stay home, stay safe, keep your hands clean.
Have you played a sport in your life? If yes, then how has that changed your mindset?
I still play badminton, and in my college days, I used to play volleyball. When I was a kid, I used to play kabaddi with my all my cousins. So all these sports have given me a very sporty attitude towards life, towards fun, how to stay bindas, how to stay lively, how to have fun in life, and how to burn all your stress and just be you.
Yeah. So startups are much risky to think when initiated. How did you overcome that failure?
I didn't allow that thought to stay for long, but I was just working on it to ensure that uh, it just works on. It just that idea doesn't fail.
And students these days during this lockdown are studying courses and learning on social media platforms. And is that important according to you, or a practical approach is necessary?
See, we should be learning constantly, but we should not define just one way to learn. So learn online, learn through mentors, learn offline maybe after 21 days. So attend different workshops, go to them, and meet and interact. So offline and online learning. Then there are creative classes also. So for example, I write poetries, and I want to learn more on how to do it. And I used to go to sessions which were organized by Rekta and different other poetry sessions. So they are creative. Never kill the creativity in you. Try to expand and see the diversification to learn new things. So even in schools, what the concept new concept has come, which has been practiced abroad in a very since long, that it is important to excel in your subjects, but what's unique about you, and that uniqueness comes from some creative subject, some sports that you do. So what's the extra edge about you that you should be learning?
Ma'am, your inspirational guru?
My inspirational guru. Okay, so I meditate a lot, and I am Buddha has been a very big influencer, and Lord Shiva has been a motivator, big facilitator in my life.
Ma'am, do you look at your competitors?
Yes.
So what is that one thing you look like for each and every day?
So see, I try to understand what they are doing. So again, I'm less of a competitive and more of a collaborative person. And over a time, I have tried to put that approach in a very practical way. So there are certain media houses in Bangalore where I try to reach out to them. I try to engage them in my shows, and I try to also find a way to collaborate with them and work with them, because see, they have a different pillar altogether, and I have a different pillar altogether. If we two will, keep competing against each other, one will win, other will fail. Okay, or one will go down, other will go up. But if we collaborate and rise together, then that is a different concept that brings a real happiness inside.
Ma'am, so as I talked about Supriya Paul, as I talked about Richa Anirudh ji, so females are leading this platform like talk shows, and females are leading each and everywhere. So any message for them?
They are way ahead than me. So uh, even there are many talk shows which, so I when I was young, I used to watch Oprah show, Ellen show, and I used to learn from there, from those. I used to really feel happy when uh, I used to have people coming on stage and talking about their authentic journey, and and from there actually I got that inspiration that I should be having my own talk show where I can start. So there is a lot for me to learn, not to give them advice.
Ma'am, and where do you see yourself in the next 10 years, like in 2030?
A step closer to Oprah show, maybe.
So do you plan for like short-term goals or long-term goals?
Both.
So is
So
that necessary?
I always keep a notebook with me where I create every day. I write every day what I have to do, but at the same time, I also have a vision board in my room where I have a long term vision which I want to accomplish in 10 years and in 15 years.
And importance of planning your day, like how do you plan your day, and
So
why is it important for everyone?
see, for me, I'll tell you. For me, sometimes when I plan, uh, when I don't plan, it shuffles my day. Sometimes the priority is out, and I am busy with something else. For me, why it is important when I get up, I have started practicing very regularly meditation. So I meditate for some time, where it gives me it brings me back into the mindset that this is how I have to work. And then in my notebook, in my diary, I write what I have to do, and it gives me it helps me plan the entire day. So even out of 10, I'm able to do 5 and 6, and I ensure that the 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 deadline ones are done, and the one which I can postpone for next day, it's okay. But the deadlines and the one which I have to do it by today for sure, those tasks are done.
Ma'am, so one last message for the audience.
Keep learning keep learning and find the signature story which is unique for yourself.
Okay, over to you, Divya. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Sarthak.
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed a great experience learning from you. IEEE ADIT is overwhelmed and honored to have you as a speaker on this platform. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. It was really good to have such a disciplined audience. They were listening to me, and there were like 60 plus people out there who were listening to me. Thank you everyone for joining from home, and I'm so happy that you are learning. So when all those people who have joined and who have been part of this episode, it's a big sign that you are learning. So keep learning.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Thank
so you will be having a lot of LinkedIn connection requests today.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarthak.
Many people will be looking forward to have a mentorship from you, ma'am.
Sure. Definitely. I'm all up to that.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Divya. You have been really sweet, facilitating the entire show for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye. Stay safe.
Stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for all the attendees for joining the session and asking to make it a beautiful webinar. Tune for the next webinar tomorrow, and the links for the next webinar will be mailed to you. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay home. Bye.